Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and ice injectors, and welcome to The Struggle, a news talk show funded by the Tampon Tax. We are a luxury. I'm Amber Schultz. Tonight's topics include pill testing, pill swallowing, and the Lord Mayor elections. Voting for the latest Lord Mayor of Melbourne ends tomorrow, following Lord Mayor Robert Doyle's resignation. We'll get into his resignation in a second, but first, let's look at who else is running. Rohan Lepet, who will be the first openly gay Lord Mayor if elected. Alex McDonald, who is a horse-drawn carriage operator. Cheung, a millionaire businessman who seems like a less racist, homophobic and sexist version of Donald Trump. And finally, our favourite candidate, Kelly Cheung. She nominated herself just hours before submissions closed. Our researchers could find but one photo of her, even after scouring the internet. But most interestingly, she lists her residency at the Elizabeth Hotel, a budget accommodation and backpackers inn. The hotel has a 2-star rating on TripAdvisor. Reviews from the hostel include the worst hostel, stains on my sheets, and it wasn't even an Airbnb, there is a pile of garbage outside my window, and there was a dirty hypodermic needle in my mattress. We cross now to our investigative journalist who's on the case to discover what's going on in the Lord Mayor candidate's residence.
Okay, hello, I'm Carly Bernstein. Now, I'm just going to have to keep it down because I am deep undercover here at the front of the Elizabeth Street Backpackers. Now, I'm trying to blend in with the crowd, so I've got this rather stained hoodie. I've made myself a bit of a travel bag, and before I came I made sure to just walk through several cannabis clouds as to mask my natural musk to fit in more with the crowd. Now, of course, this is the residential address of the mysterious Lord Mayoral candidate, Cheung. Now, I can only assume that the residents here are her business, political associates and colleagues, so we're going to head in, I'm going to try and blend in with them, and we're going to see what we can find out about her 10-point plan for Melbourne. So now the owner here has not shown that he's sympathetic to the journalistic cause. He did see my face before, but I think I'm pretty well disguised. I can't see how anyone could think that I'm anything but a backpacker, so I'm just going to head in and then I'll come back out to you and we'll see how it goes. This may give it away, so I'm going to hand this over to you. Wish me luck. We have been found out. I repeat, we've been found out. They know I'm a journalist. They are not friendly to the media. We need to go. I'm serious. We need to go right now. Come on.
Hard-hitting stuff, investigative reporter. Now, the reason we're having elections for the new Lord Mayor is thanks to Robert Doyle's resignation. Doyle resigned in February following allegations he sexually harassed fellow councillors. An investigation found that he touched a fellow councillor's breast when they shared a car ride, and that he grasped another councillor's thigh and, on another occasion, tried to kiss her. Investigations into other allegations have been suspended due to Doyle's ill health. Ah yes, the age-old adage of white man plus power equals sexual misconduct cases. 3 terms, 3 chins, 3 sexual harassment allegations. Now, Doyle has denied wrongdoing, though his ill health has limited his participation in the investigations and ability to fully respond to the allegations and evidence. However, he's not the only one on trial in the public eye. One alleged victim said she was so humiliated by the process, she would not report sexual harassment again. Now, women being put under greater scrutiny than those they accuse is not all that uncommon. A woman in Spain who alleges she was gang raped was secretly followed by a photographer who submitted photos of her smiling as evidence of her lie. A Canadian judge asked a rape victim if she tried to close her legs, and women are frequently asked about their outfits, intoxication, and sexual history during harassment cases, implying surly virgins are the only ones susceptible to sexual harassment. Hey, judicial system, the 1960s called. They want their shitty excuses back. The conversation found rates for false allegations of sexual violence are no higher than those reported in other categories of crime, at 2 to 6%. As some users on Tumblr pointed out, Imagine if we treated victims of arson like this.
Were you aware you were wearing flammable clothing? Were you drinking that night? Alcohol makes you susceptible to fire. If it's a legitimate inferno, the body has ways to try and shut that whole thing down. Did you stop, drop and roll? Can you respond to photos of you lighting a candle just 1 week later? The arson can't have scarred you that badly now, could it? Did you set yourself on fire and lied about it for attention?
We move now from the heavy topic of harassment to the lighter topic of dangerous drugs. The Groove in the Moo music festival has been sweeping the nation this month, and amongst the chaos of horny teenagers on MDMA losing their minds to Paul Kelly, a new drug testing experiment was underway. In Canberra, attendees could get their pills tested at a drug testing facility. 85 substances were tested. 50% of the tested pills were comprised of other ingredients, including lactose, sweetener, and paint, while the other 50% was pure MDMA. ABC reported the testers found some drugs which were quite pure, high quality. Is it just me, or do they seem impressed? However, 2 capsules containing lethal substance ethylene, responsible for mass overdoses worldwide, were located and discarded. Those who had their drugs tested were given armbands, presumably so kids knew which dealers were solid. The 2016 National Drug Strategy Household Survey found while millennials are smoking less, drinking less, and using fewer illicit substances, people over 40 have reported an increase in drug use. Looks like the film Trainspotting had a bigger impact than we realised. Now, despite what wandering around Richmond implies, methamphetamine use has decreased over the past decade. Cannabis is still by far the most popular drug of choice. We cross now to our hipster barista correspondent to give tips on the best way to smuggle cannabis into music festivals. Until it's legalised, that is.
Atticus Pennyworth's Sunflower III here to show you the most inconspicuous places to smuggle wheat into a music festival. Avoid pills mixed with paint, sweetener and God no lactose. And try wheat instead. It's vegan. Number 1. Inside a coffee cup. As any good environmental loving millennial, you should never go anywhere without your fair trade quinoa infused soy latte in a keep cup. Number 2. Inside your beanie. No hipster goes anywhere without their fair trade quinoa infused vegan beanie, so make the most of it. Number 3. The most natural storage place is, of course, up the arse.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, hipster barista correspondent. You truly are an expert. Weed is the perfect segue, into our next segment, ice and injecting rooms. Richmond is set to open its first ever injecting room this year, providing drug users a safe space to inject with clean needles, assistance and good lighting. Studies have shown these rooms reduce overdose rates. Sydney's medically supervised injecting centre was opened as a pilot in King's Cross in 2001 and stayed open due to its success. A 10-year review of the facility demonstrated it decreased the number of ambulance call-outs to King's Cross by a whopping 80%. Those who used the injection room praised the initiative, saying it's safer, cleaner, and the only thing to do after 10 p.m. in Sydney these days. Richmond Centre will be opened for a 6-month trial period, with users permitted to bring up to 3 grams of ice. The clinic is located just metres away from a primary school and the maternal health centre, making it a one-stop shop for time-pressured mothers needing a break from screaming children. We're kidding, of course. The location aims to remind parents not to drop the ball while raising their children. Now, to be fair, ice users and children do have a fair bit in common. Dribbling, tenuous grasp of the English language, and both very dangerous when cranky. To test how dangerous ice really is, we sent our intern to Melbourne's darkest corners to test it out.
This is already exposure.
Tampons are back in the news this week, and thankfully, not because a girl uploaded a video of herself eating a used one again. Yes, everyone's least favourite tax might be about to get the axe. after Labor Party leader and sausage-eating virgin Bill Shorten proposed the removal of the tampon tax. His poor sausage-eating technique can be forgiven for the removal of this tax. The grossly unfair tax was first issued in a more primitive time, the year 2000. It seems the LNP decided to screw women over while everyone was freaking out about Y2K. The tax states that sanitary items such as tampons are luxury goods and taxable as such. Honestly, tampons, perfume is a luxury, scented body wash is a luxury, high quality herbal tea? I'm almost certain that if men were being taxed on gym socks as a luxury good, we would have had this figured out by now. But now, Bill Shorten and the ALP have vowed to remove the tax if they win this year's federal election. For your enjoyment, our social media influencer is here to read out tweets in response to the proposal.
Hey guys, it's your fave social media influencer here, and I'm here to read some tweets from people who are way less important than me, and of course who have way less followers than me. So here we go. Good on you, Bill. That's 90 cents more money girls will have in their pockets every month. Good to see you tackling the big issue. Methinks at Pauline Hanson Oz, distastes for tampons stems a bit from jealousy. After all, they're more useful than she is and just as hard to get rid of. A self-described granny just asked and rang in at ABC Wide to ask if the Tampon King, aka Bill Shorten, would provide a rebate for all the tampons I've used in my lifetime. And of course, will it be scented or unscented? Hashtag Tampon Tax. Love you bitches. Don't forget to message me on MSN, Weibo and Call of Duty.
I can't say I've ever used a tampon that was deliberately scented. Thanks, social media influencer. Tony Abbott is, of course, against the proposal, asking, where does it end?
My distinguished treasurer was wrong then, and Tanya Plibersek is wrong now. Look, once you start having these sorts of exemptions, where does it end? Where does it end? We've got to broaden the tax base, not start carving out politically correct exceptions. But this is typical of the contemporary Labor Party.
It ends with considering shoving a wad of cotton up genitalia a luxury, Tony. Only someone who has and is a dick would consider that a privilege. Liberals, your challenge has been set. If you don't want to lose an election because of tampons, I suggest you support this notion put forward by Labor. Or horny boyfriends won't be the only ones getting screwed over by women's periods. That's our show. Thank you so much for watching. Find us on Facebook and send us videos of people eating used tampons. Just kidding, just kidding. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Join us next week as we tackle Mandarin, the moon, and politician parking fines. I'm Amber Schultz. Goodbye from everyone here at The Struggle. It's real.